have enough time left to give you ladies each 1 minute to rebut anything that's been said during any of the forum this evening. So we will be beginning with Kathleen for that one. I'm sorry, did I begin with you for the last question? Okay, then we'll begin with Jessica.
Can I just ask a question? Is this instead of the closing, or are we also doing a closing?
You'll also be doing the closing as well. This is in reference to anything that we've spoken about this evening. You'll have 1 minute. So you can begin whenever.
Okay, great. I still feel as though you haven't answered my question, so I just wanted to ask you again. What is the difference between when you signed on saying that you wanted to increase the minimum wage to $10.50 or $11 an hour with indexing in 2012 when you were trying to get elected as a Democratic candidate and afterwards? What is that difference? Because that is something that is so critical. I was very disappointed, and I wrote to you. I didn't receive an answer the first few times I wrote to you. Until after I was running against you, and then I was able to get an email back. But I felt very strongly that I know what it's like to make minimum wage, and I know that people can't live off of that. You know how I know that? Because it's still under the poverty level. So to have an amendment for $9 an hour with no indexing after those promises that you made in 2012 were concerning to me, and I'd really like to know why.
Okay. 1 minute, Kathleen.
Thank you, Michelle. I personally take great exception of the presumption that I didn't respond, because when Ms. Finocchario wrote to my office expressing that she wanted me to vote in support of the minimum wage, I immediately wrote back to her and confirmed that I did in fact vote for it. And I want to speak again about the difference between the Senate and the House version of the bill. I preferred the House version. And it is critical to be able to differentiate. The Consumer Price Index fluctuates annually. Sometimes it's an increase of 2%, sometimes it's an increase of 1.5%, sometimes it's an increase of 3%. And that adds up to a fluctuating minimum wage. When our small business owners are paying payroll, it's much better to have a flat increase in the minimum wage. I did not claim to be an expert on the minimum wage as a candidate for office, but when you're in the legislature and you find out that you are about to take an action on an issue, you're going to dig in on that issue and bone up on all of the aspects of it. And it became apparent to me that it was much more better for our local economy to have a flat increase in the minimum wage to $11.
Okay, thank you. And
am I able to just do a point of clarification?
Point of clarification? In place of your closing statement, you could do it.
No, I'll give a closing statement.
Okay. Then we're just running really tight. So you have 1 minute each for closing statements. So if you'd like to start with your closing statement, we started with Jessica, so it's you first, Kathleen.
And Michelle, not to interrupt, but would I have an opportunity to rebut like Jessica did in terms of something that was said?
Unfortunately, at this point, we would have to do it in place of your closing statement.
Okay, I'll work it into the closing statement.
Okay, that works. Okay, so you have 1 minute.
All right, thank you. So thank you everyone for attending, and thank you to everyone who's taking the time to watch this debate on the TV. Over this year and a half, as your senator, I've attended over 500 events in the district, worked on 2 state budgets. My office has handled over 160 resident requests for help on issues affecting them. I'm accountable only to the district, and have not and will not take marching orders from any outside special interest group. I make decisions based on information and don't cater to any factions of a political party or an organization. I'm a proud Democrat, but I'm also my own person, a lifelong resident of our Commonwealth, an environmental attorney, a former city councilor, the daughter of a retired union carpenter and retired Chelsea public school teacher, whose values I carry with me every day. I met my husband Jeff 15 years ago working on a Democratic campaign, and I am not going to defend my bona fides as a Democrat through words. I do it through actions. It's an honor to serve you as the state senator, and I humbly ask for your vote on Tuesday, September 9th, so we can continue this momentum.
Thank you very much. Jessica, 1 minute.
Just another point of clarification. I am not a special interest group. I'm an individual. This is me and this is my words, and that's what's important to me. Massachusetts families deserve a leader who will be a voice for our community and who will stand up and fight for our communities for the issues that matter most to our families. I want to listen to you, to engage you, and to put our values into action. I want the Merrimack Valley to have great schools, economic stability, and opportunities for all. I pledge to be accessible and to represent your needs. Our campaign is going at full speed, and I'm honored to have received so much support from across the district and across the Commonwealth. Every day, I speak to voters who want a leader that they can believe in and trust. The time is right for a leader with a local working class family who knows how important it is to raise the minimum wage, to improve our schools, and protect our local small businesses. I'm standing up to be a strong, progressive voice for you in the state Senate. Tonight, I ask for your support and for your vote on September 9th. Thank you, everyone, for being here, and thank you, Senator Ives, for having this discussion with me.
Thank you both. This concludes our first Essex State Senate Forum. I'd like to thank our candidates, Jessica Finocchario and Kathleen O'Connor Ives, for participating in this forum this evening.